Hey everyone, it's Concert Canuck. We're here on this beautiful night shooting in Sherwood Park, and I'm here with Rob and Cisek. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet.
Thank you so much for chatting with me. I'm really excited.
Well, it's awesome. So what I want you to do is I want you to take us back to your origins, how you got started into music, what inspired you to become a musician.
So I have a little bit of a unique story when it comes to how I kind of got into music, how I got started. So I used to be an athlete, really into sports. I used to play hockey, all kinds of stuff. And then I was diagnosed with a genetic condition called thoracic outlet syndrome. So that kind of put an end to my sports, and I wasn't really allowed to do sports competitively with a team or any physical contact anymore, just because it was a little bit of a health risk. So when I discovered that, I kind of ended up going into music more, going into like visual arts and that kind of thing, and really putting a lot of my time into that. So music for me kind of became a place where I could reflect on what I was going through with my health and write music about it, and it just became a really positive outlet for me. So since then, I've just been doing it full time and really enjoying getting to experience this new, different kind of life for me.
That's awesome. So you're born and raised in Edmonton, correct?
I was actually born in Regina, Saskatchewan. Yeah, but I've lived in Sherwood Park basically my whole life since we moved out here as soon as I was born. So
I'm a huge Rough Riders fan.
Oh, cool.
I actually have the gopher tattooed on my leg.
You do?
I do.
My family would love you. All my family lives in Saskatchewan. Huge Rough Riders fans.
I was funny because I'm actually born and raised here, but I spent a lot of time in Saskatchewan and I just became infected with Rider pride.
Oh my God, cool.
Yeah, it's been now 14 years. 14 years.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, love my Riders. Go Riders. So as I was researching you, you describe your music as alt pop, and you listed like that you compare yourself to Tones and I, Banks, and Halsey. So do you want to elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, for sure. So I really have always loved pop music. I kind of grew up listening to like Christina Aguilera. Some of my influences include like Ariana Grande and that sort of thing, as far as like the pop atmosphere kind of goes. But I see my music as a little bit more alternative than, let's say, Ariana Grande or Christina Aguilera. So I definitely have a lot of very unique influences when it comes to my music. I grew up listening to Fleetwood Mac. I grew up listening to Queen, just like classic rock stuff, alternative stuff. One of my favorite bands is called Mother Mother, and they're also Canadian as well, and I absolutely love them.
And they're here on Monday.
They are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going.
Excellent.
But yeah, so just lots of different influences. So I definitely don't feel like I fit into one genre. But yeah, and as far as like those influences go, I feel like my music is very atmospheric, so like really focus on vocals, which I have been compared to Halsey and Banks in the past for that, and then I've been compared to Tones and I as far as like my vocal tone goes.
Yes.
So it's cool to hear people like come up to me and be like, oh, I hear this kind of influence in here. So I hear all different stuff all the time, and I kind of try to keep note of them, because as a musician it's almost impossible to be like, oh, I sound like this person, or give people kind of a feel of their music. So yeah, a lot of different influences and different things going into my sound.
So I have to ask, this was a later question, but since you brought up Fleetwood Mac, I was watching an interview that you did on Global, and you mentioned Stevie Nicks. So I named my dog Stevie.
Oh my God, cute.
After Stevie Nicks, because she's one of my all-time favorite people. I love her to death. So what inspires you about Stevie Nicks, and what are some of your favorite songs?
I feel like with Stevie Nicks, it's not even about the music so much as it's about her energy and just who she is as a person. I just recognize such a strong female presence from her, and just like the strength that she has to be a famous musician in the music industry as a woman is like incredibly inspiring for me. So just her as a person, I find her incredibly inspiring and strong, and somebody that I look up to. But then as far as the music goes too, like I think that she really came out with something very interesting when she joined Fleetwood Mac. Like I think that she had a huge impact on that style of music, and she's still one of the bands that is from that era that young people listen to today. So I think that there's a lot to be said about how her style of music and Fleetwood Mac's style of music has really lasted through time, and it's become kind of a music that young people recognize and they relate to, which I think is very inspiring for me.
Well, and I think one of the things too with her is also the Taylor Swift effect, because Taylor Swift has cited Stevie Nicks as one of her influences, and in Tortured Poets, Stevie wrote a poem, and she also sang at her wedding. So I mean, it's just cross-generational, because I know my ex's daughter, who's 14, is a huge Swiftie, loves also Stevie Nicks, right? So it's one of those, a very much cross-generational thing, and she's a dynamic woman, so.
Yeah, it's like she walked so everybody else could run, and I think that's so cool and inspiring.
Very true. So you've won a lot of different awards and have had a lot of accolades. Do you want to talk about some of them and your favorites?
Thank you. I have been incredibly spoiled to be recognized by, first of all, my Indigenous community in music. As a Métis artist, that has meant the world to me. So some of my favorite accolades is definitely being involved with the Indigenous Music Countdown, which I've been a #1 on twice, and I've been in the top 10 a number of times now, which has been awesome. Just seeing my name up there with some artists that I really recognize as inspirations for me and people who I look up to has been wonderful. I've also had the opportunity to speak to people in different interviews, which has been something that really is special to me, because the part about music that I really enjoy is like the getting to connect and getting to meet people and kind of chat about music as a whole.
Yeah.
So the Global Morning Show, CP24, getting to speak on those huge platforms, like having them recognize me as an artist was incredibly cool for me.
No, that's awesome. Hey everyone, sorry, this is part 2, the original spot we were in. I had the sun shooting me right in the eye, and as many of you know, I have recovered from a concussion and still have some light sensitivity that will probably never go away, so we had to move. So here we are again, and we're gonna kick off at the question that we last asked, which was about your album Tempered, and your single Going In Blind. Both have done really, really well. So do you wanna talk about your album and the song?
Yeah, for sure. So I released Tempered in 2025, and it was actually my first project where I got to kind of experiment with production. So 5 out of the 7 songs were produced by me, recorded by me, and written by me as well. So I feel like with that project, I really had a lot of control over what I wanted to put in there and what I wanted to talk about. So that was definitely a project where I kind of felt like I grew as an artist quite a bit. And as far as the title of it goes, Tempered, I kind of wanted to reflect on how it is being a woman in society, especially in the music industry. So I kind of compared it to tempered glass, where it's like, as a woman, you're expected to be pretty and kind of quiet and delicate and beautiful, but on the other side, being tempered glass, being heated under pressure, and when you're put under pressure, like, you kind of explode. And I feel like a lot of women, they kind of experience that in creative fields, as well as like when you're running their own businesses and that sort of thing, where you kind of have to balance this soft femininity with this like strength. So I thought that tempered glass was a good metaphor for that. So I really wanted to kind of use that as my jumping off point for a lot of the songs, kind of just like talking about my experience as a woman in relationships, in my life, and that sort of thing.
Cool, very cool. So you are Métis. So how does your Métis heritage fare into your songwriting?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. So I feel like when people listen to my music and hear that I'm Métis, they're kind of expecting fiddle music or something a little more traditional. As a contemporary Métis artist, I definitely feel like my Métis heritage has an inspiration for me, but not so much in the musical sense, but more so in the topics and the ideas that I kind of try to embody. So as a Métis person, I've grown up in a community that has been incredibly supportive of me, and really highlights the idea of resilience and healing and community. So that has a huge influence on kind of the songs that I pick to write and the topics that I choose to talk about in my music as well. So not so much musically, but definitely in topics and subject matter.
So you're also a champion for mental health. Like your song Memories was very much about mental health, correct?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that was from my first album that I put out, which is called Delicate Minds. So I really wanted to create a concept album that talked about mental illness and mental health and healing, and just kind of being a resilient person and kind of tackling those subjects in order to start the healing process. So the Memories song, I wrote that while I was kind of still trying to heal from my diagnosis of thoracic outlet syndrome, and kind of talk about how that had an impact on me mentally and like how much of a struggle that was to go through. So that song to me was, I get to kind of vent about my experiences and kind of wanting to forget about what I went through, so that I didn't have to deal with like how stressful it was or how painful it was going through. But I wanted also to write a song that encouraged people to speak out. So talk about what they're going through, kind of find positive outlets to express themselves, so that they can start on the healing process. And I feel like that to me represents resilience. Being able to address what you've gone through, accept what you've gone through, and then move forward to healing, I think is such an important place to start when you're dealing with mental illness or mental health.
Well, and chronic disease is so hard because a lot of chronic disease is silent and you can't actually see what a person is going through, right?
Exactly.
So having songs like that are very empowering are really important. So
thank you.
Please write more of that
thank you so much.
anyone who is struggling. You're also a strong advocate for the LGBTQ2+ community because you recently just did a drag show at Chromosome, right? So what was that like? Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, I am just like, I consider myself an ally, so I feel like I have to say at all of these events and when I get to be in these communities, I just have to say like what an honor it is for me to be seen as a safe person and also to help promote these wonderful artists and these wonderful people as well. I just think it's such an honor to get to experience like some uniqueness in this community and get to promote all the things that they're doing because I think it's wonderful. And I think that just the community as a whole just promotes the idea of love and acceptance so well, and that's something I want to be a part of. But yeah, I just find it incredibly cool that I get to have a drag queen open for me every so often, or I get to volunteer my time for a cause that really means something to me, even if it's not directly my community. I think that it's really cool to get to be involved in that sort of thing.
No, that's awesome. And I mean, I'm sad I missed that show because that would have been absolutely phenomenal and fun.
So fun. I had a blast. And honestly, me and Pheromone are like wanting to hang out outside of things, and we were talking about getting together and having dinner and doing a bedazzling night. So like me and her make costumes, and we like to kind of have our own personal spin on fashion. So just finding those things where we can really bond and really like connect is really cool. So I really enjoyed meeting her and getting to experience her take on fashion and
fantastic.
All that sort of stuff. So.
I love it. I love that so much.
Thank you.
So speaking of fashion, you also model.
I do a little bit, less so now, but I'm still a huge lover of fashion.
So what are some of your favorite designers?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm a big fan of Mugler. There's a brand called Matière Fecals, I think it's called. But anyways, I'm really into like really structured items with texture. And then I really love when people like really tailor things well. So I really like that sort of thing. And I think that like Mugler kind of highlights that as well because they have these really interesting shapes. So I really love that. There's a few that I can't think of the names right now, but yeah, just kind of edgier stuff. I like lots of blacks and lots of textures and that sort of thing. So I find myself gravitating towards that stuff all the time for my own personal style. And I just see fashion and designing as such an art form that I just appreciate it so much. So
that's very cool. I try and wear Canadian as much as possible. That's my thing. I like shopping at Canadian stores because I want to support our businesses. So so my next question is upcoming shows. So why don't you tell us about your upcoming shows and where people can see you?
Yeah, for sure. So I do have a really big show coming up that I've been preparing for a little bit now. I am so excited to say that I will be opening for Asanabe at K-Days on the CKUA stage on July 22nd at 7:30 p.m. So very excited for that. And I also will be performing this weekend at Black Bar. I am working with a couple wonderful artists that are local here and one from Calgary and an awesome show promoter who I've worked with multiple times who I just love. So that one should be a really fun show. And then K-Days, I feel like I've been preparing for it all summer. So I'm very excited.
Well, and the great thing about the K-Day show is that it's all ages. And free unless you're in VIP, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So you get in with your general admission.
Yeah, so there you go. This is a perfect opportunity to see Robin and you can bring your whole family, which is absolutely fantastic. Any new music in the works?
I am slowly putting together an album. With my Tempered album, I put a serious timeline on myself. So I got that thing done in like a year, which is crazy to be like, I'm gonna produce my first project and do it all in this very short period of time. So I'm taking my time with this project and I'm hoping that I will be able to come up with music that is better than the first one. The first album I put out with my own production in it. So slowly working on new music, but hoping that in the next couple of years I'll have a full project.
Well, thank you so much. It was really great having this opportunity to interview, and I really look forward to hearing about your future endeavors and seeing how your career is going to continue to grow and grow and grow because you are extremely talented.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. So be sure to check out Robin's 2 shows. The big one, of course, is at K-Days. It's like we said before, it's free with your admission at the CKUA stage. So be sure to check that out. Hopefully I will be there pending anything going crazy with my work schedule. I work in healthcare, so sometimes it can be a little, it can be a little interesting, but yes, hopefully we'll see you there. And thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor to kind of have a chance to chat about my music and to meet you as well. So thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for dealing with all the tech issues.
That's totally okay. It happens.
See you, everyone.